Hispanic Lifestyle is pleased to have the support of Wells Fargo Bank. For more information, visit their website at wellsfargo.com. With roughly 60 million Latinos in the U.S., we highlight Latinas of influence, businesses surviving to thrive. We talk culture, travel, health, wellness, music, entertainment, and of course, food. Our passion is to share inspiring stories with the community. I'm Richard Sandoval, and this is Hispanic Lifestyle. What are you doing these days, Miss Rodri Rodriguez?
Rodri Rodriguez. I'm still producing Mariachi USA. Started producing that 1990 and producing shows since 1976. Richard, oh my God.
Oh my God. I know that we did a very long, in-depth interview with you a few years back. And again, I want to applaud you on all the success. How are you doing during this pandemic? I hope your family's fine. I hope you're fine. Your extended family's fine.
Yes, we're all doing very well. And as you well know, my extended family is, the mariachi world and my production team. And also, as everyone knows, the Hollywood Bowl season was canceled due to the pandemic, and it's been challenging for our team.
Well, I know one of the acts that you feature, and we have profiled before, is Mariachi Divas, and it's been interesting to watch Cindy Shea, keep her group together and pivot during this time. I know that's just one of the groups, but would you talk about some of the others that you're working with for Mariachi USA?
Certainly. We have Mariachi Tapatio out of New York, which is the mariachi that was playing outside of emergency rooms, playing for doctors and nurses and family members that couldn't go into the hospital but were just waiting out there. As Latinos, if we can't be inside, we just think that if our family members in that hospital, we're going to be down there and hoping that they feel us being there, and they were there under rain and snow and sleet. They were there, performing. Some of them would be four, and then another four musicians would come and take their place. So they're very much a part of our show. Mariachi Lindas Mexicanas, we're doing the same thing here in Los Angeles, raising funds so that the senior mariachis that don't have any way of getting medical services or groceries had services during the pandemic. We have from Las Vegas, Mariachi Acero in Texas, which is really leading the pack, so to speak, in mariachi education. Mariachi Campanas de America, which has been a White House favorite up until 4 years ago, have played for many, many presidents. Mariachi Azteca de America, Mariachi Las Salteñas, Mariachi Mariposas. Here in LA, Mariachi Los Reyes, Divas, Cindy's Divas, Mariachi Nuevo Mujer 2000, from Guadalajara, Mariachi Nuevo Tecalitlan and Mariachi Nuevo Tecalitlan Femenil, also from here in LA, Mariachi Los Reyes. And then we have Pedro Infante's granddaughter that's going to be with us as well, Lupita Infante, and one of our all-stars, Yafet, who is in Midland, Texas. Our Ballet Folklorico, Mi Tierra, I don't know how they did this. It was only supposed to be 4 dancers, and they all came out and were dancing on a sidewalk somewhere out in West Covina, 14 of them, so that we could have the feel of being, at the Hollywood Bowl, where it's difficult. People did this in their garages. Some went to theaters. Some did it in their studios, like Cindy Shea, for example. She has her studio, so she was able to bring in a few girls at a time. Carlos Parra also has his own studio. He was a foundation student and now owns his own mariachi and has his own studio. And that's exactly what he did. Jorge Alvarez from Reyes just opened right before COVID. He was just getting ready to open his own restaurant, Mariachi Bar and Grill, and wasn't able to open on time. So, it's everybody putting in un granito de sal, so to speak. And it was all made possible because of Verizon, who was our presenting sponsor for the Hollywood Bowl this year. And I went to them and said, listen, I need to figure out how to do 5 or 6 mariachis. And they said, do you want to go a little bit bigger, Rodri? Do you not want to include more mariachis? I said, yes, I would love to include more mariachis. And they said, well, you as a producer, just put together what you would like and let's sit down and talk. And they made this a reality. They really put their money where their mouth is because they support culture in our community. And that's why they were at Mariachi USA last year. And that's why they were going to be with us this year. So it's not the same bells and whistles, Richard. You know, it's not the spectacular venue that is the Hollywood Bowl and the flashy lights and the fabulous sound system. But when you strip it all away, you get all the glitz, you still get pura alegría and puro mariachi, that puro corazón, because that's what the mariachi represents to all of us. So thank you, Verizon. I'm using your airways to get that little plug. It's not a commercial plug, but it's un plug de puro corazón, because they do believe in how important music education and cultural education is for all of our communities.
No, we have to acknowledge the corporate sponsors that are supporting our efforts, especially during this time. So again, nothing wrong with thanking Verizon. Talk a little bit specifically about the event. How is Rodri Rodriguez going to, are you going to be stressing out that day, pulling all this event, or are you going to be sitting back with a glass of wine, taking all this in?
Actually, no stress. It was going to be a very challenging show to do 100% live, because our groups are not 2 or 3 musicians. And now that I say 2 or 3 musicians, also on our 2-hour special is Ellas, which is a trio of young women that came up the mariachi ranks. Wait till you hear the rendition of Tu Solo Tu. It's going to be the new Saturday night jam to dance to with your significant other. But I have such an incredible team, Richard, from social media, my director and associate producer out in San Antonio, Anthony Tiger Medrano, our urban marketing team, everyone that's been involved with this has just been so on it. It's been an arroz con mango, I say, because how do you edit via Zoom? How do you do all these things without? We're a very touchy-feely family here. We used to, you know, I'll fly in my director from San Antonio and he'll be here in my home for 10 days before Mariachi USA, bring in the lighting designer, and we have, you know, barbecue, and the mariachi comes in and we start a jam session. And it's a very different, it's like antiseptic way of producing, but we put all of that aside and we still had fun with it, and are going to deliver the 2 hours that you're going to see.
Well, I want to share my thoughts, and I have admired you for years, and I always enjoy spending time with you and your passion for producing events and just bringing people together. I know that these are tough times trying to survive and thrive, but you are doing it and you're an inspiration to a lot of people. So maybe give some advice, maybe share your words of wisdom of how you keep going during this time, and basically having Mariachi USA be a sort of full employment, if you will, for some of these mariachi artists.
Well, that's like a 3-part question. So I'm going to extrapolate a little bit of information. I can only suggest to all of your audience that this is a time of enlightenment, aside from, you know, the terrible losses that have occurred and will continue to occur of friends and family members. But it truly is that time when you refocus your lens of what were you doing and what can you be doing, and let go of those bad habits that don't serve you anymore, and reestablish that family connection of the things that you do want to do. Many people are home now for the first time. They know what happens from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Teachers are a lot more respected now that kids are at home, you know, homeschooling. And same thing with nannies, and same thing with housekeepers. There's greater respect and there's greater consideration, and people are embracing things differently. And so we have to take on the responsibility of just opening our eyes and our heart to see what is before us and how we can really make this year count. We've lived it. So how are we going to make it count so that we can move forward differently? Or maybe some of us won't learn the lessons and will continue. There's no judgment either way, but it's an opportunity. And it certainly is an opportunity for us to realize that our vote counts and that our vote is important, and to get out and vote next month. So there's a lot of intricate situations and feelings and emotions, some spiritual, some not. From my end of putting this show together, I can tell you that this pandemic has certainly driven mariachis to pay more attention to what they're not doing, and what they're not doing, they are now doing, which is creating more music, because they're realizing that they have a lot to say. They have new stories. Mariachi musicians, singers are storytellers. So we're telling the stories of Jose Alfredo Jimenez, his words, the way Pedro Infante used to sing, Jorge Negrete, Lola Beltran, Lucha Villa, but you're looking at Agustin Lara's words. And all those words are important because they have told a story. But our generation now has a new story to tell. And they are realizing that they themselves are worthy of telling that story. And so they're writing it and producing it and directing it. And so you've got all these millennials coming out and saying, hey, I can write that song. And I'm saying, yes, you can write it. But you know what? Own your own publishing. Copyright that stuff so that it's a business for you and you don't rely on others, so that when and if this hits again, and it will, I don't know if in my lifetime or your lifetime, Richard, but there's a lot of pandemics that still will be coming down the loop. They're able to better survive, Richard.
I want to finish by asking you to give me another selfish plug. When is the event happening? Online? I know.
It's on YouTube. YouTube this Sunday, October 11th, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 hours of puro mariachi. You go to YouTube, youtube.com, and type in Mariachi USA. If it's easier for you to go to mariachiusa.com and get the information on there, you can do that as well. You can also sign up. We're going to be giving away all sorts of goodies down the line between now and the end of the year, especially during the holiday. We have tickets for next year's show, which, by the way, is going to be sometime in the latter part of June. The Bowl doesn't have the season laid out yet, but we will be back at the Bowl to celebrate 5 hours of mariachi with all of you at the Hollywood Bowl next year. But for now, we've got 2 hours, and that'll be on YouTube this Sunday at 5 p.m. And if I can just say a quick thank you to Univision, who cleared an hour for us 2 weeks ago to show Mariachi USA here locally. It was very interesting because we went up against CBS women's soccer and got the same rating, and so that was a bravo for all of our musicians. And you know, it's puro mariachi in this town. What can I tell you?
Well, again, congratulations. I just want to be clear. Thanks to Verizon, this Mariachi USA is free.
It is free, and yes, it is thanks to Verizon. Otherwise, we would have had to have charged. And in other formats, it will become something else, and then it'll be something different. But for right now, it was free, and that was important because we wanted everyone, no matter if you had the money, if you didn't have the money, if you can't afford it, if you can't afford it, there's no judgment here on anyone. We wanted this to be free, and thanks to Verizon, we were able to establish that.
Well, again, thank you for doing this for all of us, and I wish you so much success. And yes, I will be logging on and tuning in.
What time are you going to tune in, Richard?
You said 5 p.m., right?
Oh, very good. You do pay attention to me.
You're Rodri Rodriguez. Why wouldn't I pay attention to you?
Thank you so much, Richard, for having me on again.
Didn't get enough? There's always more at HispanicLifestyle.com. And follow us on your favorite social media platform.